y'all, we are doing another book versus movie. Finally moving on to Eclipse by Stephanie Meyer. I kind of put a pause on reading this series because I had started ACOTAR in the middle of reading these and I had to finish that one. I couldn't wait. So it's taken a minute, but we're finally starting it and I am so excited. I'm pretty sure I've never actually read the end of Eclipse. It was this one and the last book that I didn't end up reading. So I can't wait to see how this one differs from the movie. I might have said this in one of my previous rereads, but I will say that I really like how Bella in the movie just seems more mature than Bella in the book. And I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. She stands up for herself. She's still in love with Edward, but she doesn't just do everything he tells her to. I was just reading about Jacob showing up at the school and Edward won't let her talk to him and he holds Bella back basically behind his back. And in the movie, Bella said, "Is he gonna hurt me?" Read his mind, because she knows that Jacob would never hurt her and she's gonna talk to Jacob regardless. I'm editing right now and I realized while watching the movie she doesn't actually say that in this movie. It must be either the first or the second, because I swear she's standing outside of the high school when she says it and she graduates in this movie, so it has to be one of the first two. I remember her saying it so clearly, I just can't remember which one it was in. But also, speaking of graduation, I'm way jumping ahead from my movie rewatch, but I just love the graduation scene in the movie. I thought Jessica's graduation speech was so clever and funny, and it made me think of my high school graduation. Actually, the only thing I remember from our grad speech was the kid giving it. His name was Abe, and then he started talking about Abraham Lincoln, and his thing was we should all be like Abe, which was funny because his name was Abe. Anyway, and I also realized while watching this movie that we had to wear the same ugly color for our cap and gowns, but I don't know why I didn't realize our school colors were the same, like gold and blue. For some reason, their cap and gown did not look near as ugly as ours did though. But anyway, I loved Jessica's graduation speech. I thought it was funny in the book that Eric is the one that gives it, and I feel like it makes way more sense for Jessica to be the one doing it, maybe just because they make Eric so goofy in the movie. I don't know. I'm gonna get back to editing. Bella in the book makes me feel a little icky, and I love that Bella in the movie is still so in love with Edward, but she's like, I'm a person and you'll respect what I want, more or less. Does any of that make sense? But also, Charlie is cracking me up with how much he doesn't like Edward at the beginning of this book. He's so grumpy every time Edward shows up. I just think Charlie's the cutest. I just saw this clip the other day of there's apparently a book out there that goes into more detail on these books. And one of the things was vampires don't mature mentally over the age that they were turned as. So Edward turned when he was what, 17? So mentally he's always 17. I'm just gonna go with that and stop feeling weird about their age difference, because in that case it wouldn't matter, I guess. It's still weird, I don't know. I don't like how controlling Edward is. It's bugged me in every single book. Jacob even makes a couple comments about Edward being a toxic boyfriend, which I kind of agree with. It's kind of hard to be Team Edward when she's always so happy around Jake and she's sad when he's not around. But even when she's with Edward, she just doesn't give me the vibes that she says that she's happy and he's the love of her life, but she's so depressed every time she's with him. Not to mention, it doesn't help that she would have to give up so much to be with Edward, and with Jake she doesn't have to give anything up. I love how the council meeting is written. It feels so magical to me. The way Jacob whispers into her ear and it's like the start of them telling their history is just so cool. From what I remember in the movie, they did a pretty good job with that too, but I just really like how it was written. I I always think I'm not on Edward's side, and then he just says something really cute and I am like right back there with him. It's he and Bella are talking about the fact that she doesn't want to be the girl that gets married out of high school and everyone will think she's pregnant, and he was like, back in my day I would have been that boy too. Once I saw you and knew we were meant to be together, I would have put a ring on your finger in that instant. And like, who cares what anyone else thinks? I was that boy who would have, as soon as I discovered that you were what I was looking for, gotten down on one knee and endeavored to secure your hand. Is that not one of the most romantic things you've ever heard? Is this a start for true crime obsession? I think it's dumb that Bella doesn't ever want to celebrate anything. Why did Jake have to go and ruin everything? The kiss in the book is so creepy. I grabbed at his face trying to push it away, failing again. He seemed to notice this time though, and it aggravated him. His lips forced mine open and I could feel his hot breath in my mouth. I'm sorry, what? I don't like that at all. I'm glad she punched him. They make that scene really cute and funny in the movie, but I don't remember it being like this. I just remember him kissing her and her pushing him away and hitting him. This makes me not like Jake. It's creepy. I don't like that. I love that Charlie praises Bella for punching Jake, because even though he loves Jacob, he knows that that's wrong to kiss someone without their permission. So I'm Team Charlie, you guys, all the way. But honestly, that was a really good dad move to back her up on defending herself. I feel like a lot of the time women are told they're overreacting in situations like this. So I really love that he was like, no, that wasn't okay and you did the right thing in defending yourself. Good job, Charlie. I find her lack of wanting to get married super disturbing. I get that she has some hangups on marriage because of her mom and Charlie, but she's literally willing to be turned into a vampire, become immortal, and spend the rest of forever with Edward. But like, she's hung up on getting married to him, and not even just a little bit. She's like violently against it. And I would feel a little disturbed if the person I'm asking to marry me was so against it. She makes a comment that she's just gonna do it in Vegas wearing sweatpants to make a statement, I guess. I don't know. But she's like, whether Alice throws me a wedding or we go to Vegas and elope, it's all just varying degrees of awful anyway. And that is so sad. I really hope you can't hear that helicopter. That's so annoying. But how terrible to like tell someone you'll marry them and then that's your attitude towards it. So I just read about Jacob and Bella's second kiss and I am so grossed out. First of all, and this is really like the least of my concerns, but Edward knows that Jacob is outside and can hear their conversation, and he doesn't say anything to Bella specifically to hurt Jake. And of course, she doesn't put any of the blame on Edward when Jacob's feelings are hurt. She's like, oh no, it's all my fault. You didn't do anything wrong. But Edward was trying to be malicious, which of course is just typical Bella fashion, to take all of the blame. And then Jake manipulates her by saying he's going to off himself in this battle with the newbies unless she specifically asks him to kiss her, which is disgusting for him to guilt her like that. But then also the kiss was a lot of how it was the first time. Just really disgusting. And again with the aggression when he can tell she's not into it. Like, it's so out of bounds of what Jake's character is. It makes me completely unlike Jacob. Maybe that was the whole point behind it, was to ruin him, so picking Edward would make more sense. I don't know, but I honestly think it's so gross. I am so glad they changed that in the movie. At least that's how I remember it being different, so I don't know. I am hoping when I do the rewatch, I'm not totally grossed out. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Oh my gosh. What? Bella didn't realize that she loved Jake until they kissed the second time. Jake's like, yeah, I told you you were in love with me this whole time. He like forced her into seeing that she was in love with him. Okay, whatever. Oh my gosh. Does it make things better or worse for you having me know that I'm in love with you? Would it have been better or easier for you if I never clued in? How do you just like not know that you love someone? I had this thought while reading. So Jake has this connection with Bella because she is holding the future child of who he's going to imprint on to, right? Isn't that like what they say? His connection is so crazy with her because he imprints on her baby. So it's the fact that it's her child, right? What would have happened if they had ended up together and they had children together? Like, aren't they supposed to imprint with who they imprint? Is it specifically had to be her and Edward's baby that he imprinted on, or just Bella's baby that he imprinted on? And how would that have worked if they ended up together? Like, he wouldn't have imprinted on anyone else, right? Please tell me there's someone else out there who has thought through this, because I had the thought and I can't let it go now. So I finished Eclipse last night. Means we're gonna move on to the movie, but a couple things before we start watching. I give these books a lot of crap, but you can't help but love them. I will say I'm glad there are things they changed about Jacob and Edward and Bella's personalities in the movie. I think just about everything I didn't like about them in the book they had changed for the movie. And honestly, I give Bella a really hard time for not like being a strong female character or sticking up for herself more. But honestly, if she tells Edward, I want to go see Jake or I want to talk to Jake, none of the kidnapping should be happening. Edward is very controlling in these books. And towards the end, he's like, okay, I shouldn't be doing that. Like, I should trust your judgment or whatever, but that's how it should be the whole time. She shouldn't have to fight him on it. Edward's obviously allowed to have his opinions and say what he thinks, but to physically stop her from doing what she wants is kind of toxic and really controlling. So as far as I can remember, they did change that in the movie. Like, Edward's still concerned about things, but doesn't like actually keep her from seeing anyone she wants to. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. And I'm just really pumped to go watch this movie now. I feel like the farther I get into the books, the more I just want to watch the movies. So that's what we're gonna do today. And it's like the perfect gloomy day for a Twilight movie. So Edward does sabotage her truck in the movie also, but she does give him a hard time about it, versus in the book she's like, I don't blame you or something like that. I don't know. She seems a little more put out with him in the movie than she does in the book, which I just appreciate because I am also a stubborn person and I wouldn't be okay with someone doing that to me, so.
Of course not.
The music when Jacob comes on screen cracks me up. I think Nikki Reed does such a good job as Rosalie. I think it was on the Twilight Effects podcast that she was talking about she got a lot of hate for being Rosalie, but I don't get it because she's such a good Rosalie.
Second, never go for the obvious kill.
I think that Jason Rathbone, is that his name? And Ashley Greene are very attractive people. They did them so dirty with their wigs though. Their hair looks ridiculous. Like they did too much. It was unnecessary. I just finished Eclipse. And as cheesy as they can be, these movies are just so good. I have to say, I remember everyone being like, Bella is so boring and plain in the movies. Like, why would anyone like her? Blah, blah, blah. But honestly, I think movie Bella is way better than book Bella because in the books, she's so like just whiny and complaining. Like, I swear, every line she's like, I muttered or I mumbled. And she's just like so obsessed with Edward, but not in like a cute romantic way. It's in a, I don't know, it almost feels brainwashy in the book, but Edward doesn't do anything that seems brainwashy. She's just like obsessed with him. But like I said, I like that they changed their personalities a little bit in the movie. And I don't know what it was about reading Twilight because that was like almost a year ago at this point, but I said I liked book Edward more and I'm changing that. I like movie Edward more. Robert Pattinson's voice is so relaxing. I don't think I've ever realized that before, but I just have had a lot of fun rewatching the movies and rereading the books. I feel like everyone needs at least one Twilight marathon every year. Anyway, you can follow me on Instagram to see anything that's going on, if there's any changes to my upload schedule, or just to see what I'm currently reading. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. I always feel weird about saying that because does it make a difference on whether you're going to do those things or not? I don't know. But hopefully I will see you next Wednesday.